Look at this weather. No joke. I was literally gonna walk out and do a walk and talk before the rain started, and looks like I missed my opportunity. Okay, it's getting pretty bad. I'm gonna close this door. Well, I'm not going to be filming outside there anytime soon, so I'm just going to do this from the apartment. I got a question earlier this morning asking how do people basically work outside? How do we survive working outside in this Florida summertime? I got through July and now August has started, and I'll tell you, it's a lot worse than I thought it was going to be. And before you dismiss the heat and how brutal it can be, keep in mind I've seen 3 guests with my own eyes faint in the water parks. And those are just the ones that I've seen, mainly because there's really nowhere to escape the sun and the heat when you're in the water parks. At least if you're at like Magic Kingdom or something, you can go on a ride and cool off. Even if you go in the water at a water ride, the sun is still on you. So the heat here it really is no joke. In fact, a lot of times I see a cast member inside a walk-in cooler taking part of their break inside to just cool off. I've done it so many times. But I will say Disney takes hydration and the heat pretty seriously. I remember when I first started, I got issued actually this very water bottle that will clip onto any belt loop, on your pants, and you can wear it at all times. At least in my position, I'm not sure about I've only worked quick service food, so I'm not sure about everything else. But uh, you know, anytime, like if you're super thirsty, you can take what's called a 1010 or a 1099, depending on where you're working, and get something to drink. I've had supervisors come up to me and say, "Hey, are you keeping hydrated?" Because when you're in the heat of the battle, when things start to get really busy, it's very easy to forget to keep hydrated. When it's gotten really hot, I've even seen them bring out different flavored electrolyte packets to put in water. Perfect for, ooh, I don't know if you could hear that thunder. Perfect for throwing in your water bottle. Speaking of these water bottles, we also have hydration stations in most of the break areas. I don't know. I've only seen so many break areas. There's so many between all the parks. But at the water parks, we actually have vitamin water on tap along with Powerade. And if you're working in any quick service role, you can always grab a drink right from the fountains, from any of the restaurants. And if you're working an outdoor vending position, like selling popcorn or something like that, most of those places also sell bottled goods like, bottled soda, water. And if you're working an outdoor vending location, we are able to drink Dasanis. You just have to take the label off and put it in the computer so it's inventoried. And we also have fans most of the time, not all the time, helping to keep you cool, and umbrellas. It's very important. And when the weather is like this and the rain is coming down in sheets, we can get water protective gear from the costuming departments. It's basically just it just goes over your normal clothes. It's like plastic gear basically. And I don't even have an umbrella. I need to get an umbrella. I don't even have a poncho. I know I'm very ill prepared for Florida. I remember I worked a Hollywood studio shift and it was raining, just absolute torrential rain. By the time I got into the break room where I needed to clock in, it had literally looked like I had jumped into a swimming pool. And guess what? I still had to work. I had to work completely soaked head to toe. But back to the heat, backstage areas also have big water coolers that are called cooling stations, and they're made not to drink from, but basically there's towels there, and you can wet a towel and like put it around your neck, douse your head in it to cool off. That's mainly for like people like custodial. Those are the ones that really have to deal with the heat and they're on the constant move. Custodial is no joke. My hat's off to how hard they work. And also the character performers. Those people have to deal with a lot, wearing that big, heavy, hot costume. They are typically brought back in after like 15 to 20 minutes max when it's starting to get really hot outside. If you're doing a normal position, let's say like bussing tables outside, or you're just in a outside position doing attractions or whatnot, they are going to rotate you back inside more often. So, you're not burning up. And I don't know so much about the bigger parks, but at least at the water parks, the urinals actually have color gauges to gauge the hydration level of your urine. They take it very seriously. They don't want cast members passing out. I have definitely learned that water alone is not enough, and the electrolytes are so important, or even just a quick shot of Powerade in my water, or the vitamin water if it's available. And keep in mind, I work with people from South America, Central America, Haiti, the islands, and I hear on a daily basis when it gets really hot, I hear those people mentioning how hot it is outside. And I don't ever think they are complaining. Like it's seriously, it gets absolutely stifling here. And a lot of it is the humidity. There's nothing like throwing on a nice, clean, fresh, dry pair of clothes, like your costume. You get to work, and literally by the time you're starting your shift, you can feel the sweat dripping down your back and down your chest. I am so not used to it. And the only way to deal with it is to accept it. You have to realize everybody else is going through the same situation. Luckily, all the costumes are like the shirts that we wear. A lot of them, they're kind of like vented on the inside, like they have this vented material, like a wicking material / venting, and they're all polyester. They're actually pretty cool shirts. One shirt that I had when I've picked up, picked up shifts in Africa, working Harambe market. That was the best shirt I've ever worn in a hot climate. And speaking of other parts of costumes, hats. A lot of hats are available where they're a bigger brim all the way around, whether it's like a Stetson or a fedora. In the case of working Harambe, it was literally a big straw hat. I think I actually showed it in one of my earlier videos. It was great for working out in the elements. And of course, there's also other aspects of the job that are kind of tough. The physical aspect of many of the positions working at Disney, whether it's like custodial, something that I do, which is quick service restaurant, attractions. I mean, even attractions, I'm sure, can be exhausting, because you're having to interact with the guests all the time, trying to keep that Disney smile, which is, that high level energy, positive energy. That can be absolutely exhausting. Even if I'm working like a cash position where I'm ringing people up for hours upon hours, you're smiling. You might have to project your voice more because it's loud because of music and fans going. So you got to make sure, you're keeping hydrated just so your voice still works. Many shifts can be very long. It's not uncommon to get like a 10-hour or a 12-hour shift. And a lot of those times, you're on your feet the entire time. And speaking of being on your feet, sometimes the walk just to get to your shift can be pretty extreme. Like if you're working something like Animal Kingdom and you decide, I'm not going to take the bus, I'm going to walk it, you're definitely getting your steps in for the day. Magic Kingdom, you need extra time to park your car if you're driving because you got to get bussed in. And then once you get bussed in, you got to go through the utilidors. And I've only done it once, but I'll tell you, it's vast. It's really vast. One of these days I really want to go in on my day off, take some time and really explore and try to map it out. Well, and actually, that's another thing. When you work Typhoon Lagoon on the weekends, we also get bussed in. We have to park at what is it called? Team Disney, and then take the bus in and out because they need the extra parking that they have for guests. I'm sorry, for cast members, they use it for guests. But without a doubt, for me at least, the toughest part of working for Disney has got to be the heat in this summertime. I remember months ago, people were saying in the comments, like, wait till you feel summer, like July and August. And holy cow, you guys were not mistaken. The worst shift I have ever felt, it was 98 degrees with 99% humidity, and I was at Magic Kingdom, and after about 2 hours, my head and my chest were not feeling right. Luckily, it started to rain and it cooled things off rapidly, because I don't know if I would have made it for the entire shift if it would not have rained. I am not from Florida. I'm still trying to climatize to this subtropical climate. Like our 19-year-old son, Jack, just visited us for 4 days, and he's 19 years old. He's in fantastic shape. He's been playing sports all his life. He's getting ready to go into the Air Force, and the heat was too much for him. I was working a couple days ago doing the Phantasmic shift, actually. I remember that. And this couple, they came up to the counter, and keep in mind, like the sun has already gone down. It's like, you know, there's barely any like ambient sunlight. It was like, I don't know, 8:30 or something like that. And this couple, they walk over to the counter. We're not quite open yet, and the guy just looked so beat down, and I was like thinking like there was something really wrong or something, and all it was he needed water. I'm laughing because I've been there. He said this is our first time to Florida, and I'm sorry I'm laughing. And he's like, I wasn't ready for this. And I'm like, no worries. I'm here to help you. I got them some water. I said, please come back for as much water as you guys need. Cause like, I mean, it's one of the reasons, like, I rarely ever get a drink when I'm at the parks, obviously on my day off, not while I'm working, of course, but because it just dehydrates you way too much. And then you feel like extra sluggish on top of the extreme heat. And it's not a good combination for feeling good. So anyway, I'm going to stop talking right now. I just wanted to address this because, someone had asked. There's actually been multiple people that ask about it. And it really is one aspect of being in Florida and working outside. Whether it's for Disney or you work for the city. I mean, holy cow! And the sun. It's always out. I look at this. I mean, look how white compared to my forearms. Like I have gotten so tan just by doing daily things, and I put sunscreen on all the time. Oh, and I also got some, they're like gauntlets for your arms, like arm sleeves, to wear like under your shirts, because we can wear those to help keep the sun off of us. And I need to start wearing those. So anyway, that is about all I'm going to say on that. And thank you so much for watching. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.